So, da bin ich wieder mit Fragments of Him. Bin jetzt einfach mal aus dem Game nochmal rausgegangen und habe nochmal neu gemacht. Was heißt neu? Einfach weitergemacht. Jetzt sollte es wieder
Doing
gehen,
Christmas
hoffe
by
ich.
yourself takes a lot of work, but I like to keep busy.
Spielchen hat wohl noch so seine Macken, scheint. Ich glaube, wir haben jetzt alles, ne?
I wanted the house to look perfect. Will was going to bring a girlfriend, Sarah, and I wanted her to get the right impression.
Ein Mädchen? Okay. Oh, das sind sie ja schon anscheinend. Ja. Ach, von ihr sieht man auch mehr? Okay.
My family arrived just as the Christmas lunch was ready. It was perfect timing. Sarah was lovely, of course. She was a bit shy back then, I think. We talked about her university courses. She really had no reason to be nervous. Will and I hadn't spoken for months. I didn't know if he understood that when we disagreed, it was only because I cared so much about him. James is like my husband Robert. Kind at heart, but I wish he would apply himself. When Sharon took Will to America, he was only 10. Like most boys, he wasn't much of a letter writer. She took him away from us for 3 years, and I barely saw him. Will was growing up to be such a fine man.
Er schneidet den Truthahn an, oder was es auch immer sein soll. Keine Ahnung.
He was so courteous and attentive.
Der hat Manieren, der junge Mann.
I felt so proud of Will. He was becoming the man I had hoped he would be. With Sarah, I hoped he would be on track to a normal life. But that was the last time I saw her.
Kein Wunder. Wenn er auf Männer steht, hat er das vielleicht nur gemacht, um nicht aufzufallen oder so, um nicht anders zu wirken. Ist ja nicht unnormal, dass Jungs das machen.
The next summer, I went to visit Will at university. Arriving on time is a common courtesy, so often overlooked, I feel. So I set off in plenty of time to drive down to see him. I arrived early and decided to have a look at the campus. It was my first time there, and the buildings looked lovely. There were so many young people there, all full of life and excited about the future. Lots of beautiful girls around, and I was hoping I might spot Sarah. I never went to university. It wasn't like it is now, where it seems normal to go. It was nice to see so many people improving their lives.
Komm, dass du Sarah da sehen wirst.
I noticed Will from a distance. I've always thought he stood out in a crowd. At first, I couldn't see what he was doing.
Oh, er hält Händchen mit dem Typ.
Then I saw that he was holding hands with a man. And then they kissed right there, out in the open.
Na und? Ist doch nicht schlimm. Stirbst du gleich, weil du es gesehen hast, oder was?
After everything I had tried to teach him, he went and did that. I couldn't believe it. I knew those views of his would get him in trouble.
Trouble? Weil er homosexuell ist, ist das gleich Ärger?
I left right away.
Oh mein Gott.
What was I supposed to say to him then? Will didn't see me. What was I supposed to do? Act like everything was going to be okay for him? He was so young. He didn't see the trouble he could get into if he kept doing that sort of thing.
Was für Ärger kriegt er denn, wenn er schwul ist? Also bitte.
The university suddenly seemed like an ugly place to me. All that entitlement and sense of smugness. My generation worked so hard trying to raise up our country, and this was what happened to the grandchildren. It was all a waste. After everything I had done for him, he was doing that, putting himself in danger. I felt so angry with him and with everyone there.
Danger. Ich verstehe gar nichts. Ehrlich.
That sort of thing. It all just feels wrong to me. Sorry, but that's just the way I feel about this.
Es fühlt sich falsch für sie an, wenn es Schwule gibt. Mein Gott. Gibt's ja wohl nicht. Kann man noch so drauf sein? Das ist doch völlig normal heute.
I barely saw Will for the next few years. I couldn't bring myself to talk to him.
Natürlich nicht.
I suppose it was silly of me.
Das war's.
After university, he went travelling, seeing the world. I stayed at my house. It's hard not to live in the past sometimes, when you have so much time to yourself. I wish my husband Robert had had more of a chance to know Will. I don't know if he knew how much I loved him when he was growing up. I remember so clearly before he changed, when he was just a happy little boy.
Leb halt in der Vergangenheit. Es ist schlimm, wenn er auf Männer steht, ich verstehe es nicht.
I had such hopes for Will, and all the things that he would be when he was a man. But life goes on.
Ja, das tut's.
I was working in the garden. Things go wild if you leave them too long.
Ich weiß ja, was Will meinte. Seine Oma ist gut im Herzen, aber... keine Ahnung.
Will would occasionally send me a postcard from somewhere foreign on his travels. He wasn't in travel journalism back then. Even though I was angry, I still worried about him.
Oh, es klingelt. Man muss wirklich sagen, das ist mehr was, wo man zuhört und zuschaut. Man kann nicht viel selber machen. Ich meine, ich mag solche Spiele ja, wenn man jetzt Life is Strange anschaut oder die Walking Dead Spiele. Aber hier, das ist irgendwie, weiß ich nicht, langweilig momentan. Keine Ahnung.
I was going to answer it, but snagged my foot in the grass and twisted my ankle.
Oh.
It hurt like blazes, and I lay there feeling like a complete fool.
Ich brauche Hilfe. Ich kann dir nicht.
I couldn't do a thing. The doorbell went again, but it hurt too much to move. I called out for help. I heard someone coming around the side of the house.
Oh.
Will had come to visit
Oh.
after coming back from travelling. I'd ignored him for so long. I never made the effort to reach out to him, but he never gave up on me.
Kannst du mal sehen.
It's okay.
He looked after me anyway.
Oh, süß.
I saw the kind boy that I knew, inside the man he had become. I don't claim that I'll ever fully be able to approve of some things,
Let's get you inside.
but inside, he really always had been the man that I wanted him to be.
Yep.
Kind and strong. I
Also.
miss that. Blinded by only one part of him. He was still everything I could have hoped for. He was even kind to a fool like me. I'll never forget that.
Sie hat wirklich immer nur gesehen, dass er jetzt auf Männer steht und so, das macht ihn gleich schlecht. Wegen. Ändert ihr doch nicht. Oh, wir sind wieder bei ihm.
Grandma is from a different generation. She loves me, I know that. She just expresses herself really badly sometimes. She's trying hard though. I should call her later.
So ein lieber Kerl, ganz ehrlich. So ist es immer. Die liebsten Menschen haben die größte Scheiße am Laufen. Haben das größte Pech im Leben. Habe ich zumindest das Gefühl. Jetzt? Hier nichts mehr. Ach, die Milch. So, er macht Frühstück, ne?
I don't think I exactly lived up to her ideas of what a man should be like. I'm okay, though, I think. Taking responsibility, too. Marrying Harry would be a big step.
Das ist wahr. Es ist immer ein großer Schritt, jemanden zu heiraten. Na, schmeckt's?
I love him. No doubt there. But will marriage make these patterns feel less like a trap?
Das glaube ich leider nicht. Das wird nicht so viel ändern. Ganz ehrlich, ich weiß sowieso nicht, was eine Hochzeit ändern soll. Wenn ich mit jemandem glücklich bin, kann ich das auch immer sein, ohne dass ich heiraten muss oder seinen Namen annehme. Ich finde das recht überflüssig, muss ich sagen. Ich weiß nicht, also ich sehe das einfach so. Wenn ich jemanden habe, den ich liebe und mit dem glücklich bin, brauche ich keinen Trauschein oder so.
He kept a place for me here while I explored the world. That's good, right? That's love, isn't it?
Naja, wenn du das so siehst.
Time to get ready.
Ach, und das war der Morgen, bevor es passiert ist, ne?
Love isn't unique. It's common. I was in love with Sarah once,
Echt?
but that changed in the end.
Du hast sie tatsächlich geliebt. Hast du dich für Männer entschieden, okay?
What would be the point in marriage? I hurt Sarah when I was with her. I'll hurt Harry too, in the end. I don't deserve someone like him.
Okay. Sag niemals, du verdienst jemanden nicht. Ich hasse es, wenn Leute sowas sagen. Ich meine, ich sag sowas selber sehr oft über mich. Dass ich Sachen nicht verdiene. Und es nicht verstehe, warum es so ist. Aber wenn es andere tun, finde ich es einfach unfassbar. Weil sie es durchaus verdienen.
I was so frightened on my first day at
Oh,
university.
Sarah.
My parents drove me to the student village in the car stuffed with everything I owned in the world. I tried to look confident. It was faked. I'm not sure anyone noticed either way. Paul always liked Will. I doubt my biological dad would have. It seemed like I had an enormous amount of stuff.
Was jetzt? Grad nicht. Machen muss. Ach so, auf Sarah.
I think Mum or Paul must have picked up the keys from somewhere. Weird that I don't remember how we got them now. I went up first. I felt butterflies in my stomach when I walked into my dorm room for the first time. I was really nervous, and I didn't think about how Mum and Paul felt leaving me there. It was scary for me, but must have been... I don't know. I suppose I'll understand someday what it's like to say goodbye to your child. When they left that day, they would be going home to an empty house, you know? I was unloading in a dream. I had a room that was all my own. It seemed unreal. Cheap carpet and a thin mattress. It didn't matter. It was my space.
Boah, hin und her rennen, ist das euer Ernst?
You remember how that felt. Having control for the first time. I felt terrified, but excited too. Though mostly just lost. I didn't realize everyone felt the same. Of course, I was thinking a bit about dating. Everyone there was, I think.
Das war wohl alles, bevor sie Will getroffen hat. Okay.
I suppose we all felt ugly in some way. It's a strong word, but I thought everyone was beautiful except me.
Oh ja, es gibt viele, die so denken, glaub mir.
I felt average, but I wasn't. None of us are really.
Aber für jeden gibt es eine Person, die einen so liebt, wie man ist, selbst wenn man meint, man wäre hässlich oder so. Das ist so, man muss denjenigen nur finden.
It wasn't like the heavens opened and shone down a ray of sunlight onto his face when I first saw him. He looked really cute, though. Sexy, I think. Wait, no, cute is the right word. I wasn't really thinking about sexy back then. I felt so adult, but I had so much growing up to do.
Na, geh rein, was ist los? Oh,
It's funny to think back, like this, now.
okay. Jetzt lernen wir wohl Sarahs Geschichte erstmal kennen, nachdem wir eine ganze Zeit mit der Oma da verbracht haben. Mehr oder weniger. So, ich denke aber auch, es ist Zeit, mal wieder den Part zu beenden. Wir sehen uns wieder beim nächsten Mal bei Fragments of Him. Und sorry, wenn ich nicht so viel erzähle, weil das ist ja mehr ein Film, den man da schaut. Und man klickt halt Sachen an und liest sich das durch. Ich übersetze es halt auch nicht, weil ich vieles nicht verstehe oder selbst erstmal verstehen muss im Kopf. Und es für mich übersetzt, es dann noch rüberzubringen, war halt noch nie meine Stärke. Ich hoffe, dass ihr das selber versteht. Falls nicht, tut's mir leid, aber mal schauen, wie der Spieler noch so ist. Ob man das als Spiel bezeichnen kann, weiß ich nicht, aber gut, ja, bis dann.